What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link. They also asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks, everybody, for supporting. This video is entitled My Thoughts on These Schools and Incidents. It's been dying down, so that's a good thing. But there are certain things that I just see from seeing these incidents happen over the last few years that it's like, it's blatant as day. Like, one of the things is, it's obvious that it's bullying. Because it's obviously that it's bullying in areas that they feel like are not like that. Because it's suburban kids who seem to be getting picked on and feel less than, who come to school and take it out on classmates who obviously they don't like, right? Or rejected them. Bullying and rejection is two different things, but you know, this is a kind of a pattern. One of the things that I don't understand is, like, where I'm at, they started making it harder for adults to come into the school. So, you know, they buzz you in, you gotta have your ID. But with these incidents, I'm still not seeing any security measures for the kids. See, y'all should have, these kids should have, if you're gonna buzz the parents in and the adults in, you should have metal detectors for these kids. But this plays into, no, not here. We're not those kind of people. Obviously you are, because this keeps happening. Obviously you're the kind of people that would create an environment that people will feel like they can come to school, bring weapons, for one, and go on a shooting spree against their fellow students. Because you don't see this happening with teachers. You see the students doing this with students, and then you say, you know, it's a home issue. Yeah and no. Yeah, what I don't understand is how in these situations, and excuse me for that, how in these situations that you have these parents not knowing that these guns are missing. Because the thing about this being in the suburbs predominantly is, you're not making an assumption that these kids are going by illegal firearms. You're making the assumption that these kids got this from home. That's what you're going to say. They got this stuff from home, and parents wasn't even thinking about it. Because every time this happens, the parents don't even know that these firearms are missing. I don't care how big or how small the gun is. They don't know that the gun's missing. Now, the other thing. How would it, you know, the one thing that's not known, and I'm sure it's mixed, some people are getting driven to school by their parents, some people go riding with friends, and some people are getting bused. Nobody's taking into consideration, you know, nobody's seeing anything wrong. Not the adults and not the kids that are with them. Not even the kids in it. Like, something wrong with them today. Something's up. You know, this callousness or this being oblivious to other people being upset. You know, this happens over and over again. And that's what I was talking about, where the schools are out at fault as far as, if a kid keeps getting bullied over and over again, you're not doing anything about it. See, there's suspension and expulsion is really a thing of the past. Well, I'm not going to say suspension is. Expulsion is. You know, you really can't get expelled for pretty much anything now. So if a kid keeps bullying a kid day in and day out, ain't nothing going to happen to the kid. They just going to have to watch. So when these situations happen, people are upset, which they should be. People are hurt, which they should be. People are remorseful and crying, which they should be. But we got to get to the root cause. Like, what have put a person in this situation to do this? And what I mean by that is, they went home, slept on it, made a plan, slept on it, got back up in the morning, and decided to follow through with this. Now, some of these kids gotta want to be infamous and have a death wish. Because to go home and sleep on it and get back up in the morning and go execute this type of stuff because your feelings are hurt, that's spoiled and entitled. Because that's not going to solve the situation. Because a lot of times the kids have these things and then they want to take themselves out. So they knew that a plan to get there, to get who they wanted to get, and then my life is over, so I'm gonna just end it. That's the part, the people be like, what are the parents doing? Because the parents could actually, try, but a lot of times you got to think about it. A lot of their kids, especially teenagers, who will isolate themselves from the family. You got to kind of drag them out of their cave, right? Now, the other thing is predominantly boys, pretty much predominantly, but all boys. But particularly, I think Caucasian and Asian. And one of the things that kind of stand out to me is none of them are normally physically fit. None of them are normally popular. And I think about, well, what kind of classes are they in? Because they might not necessarily be nerds. Because, and they might not have any extracurricular activities to get away from this type of stuff. And the reason why I say they might not be nerds, because people who are athletes and jocks, they had their set of friends even after class. They had outlets outside of class. Kids who were more academic had, the chess club and, journalism and those type of avenues. They would go there. They would have an outlet. The kids that were, more artistic, theater, band, they would go there. Are these? I'm looking at like these kids don't have an outlet outside of school and home, which means they're probably they might not be the most their GPAs might not be in the honor roll status because they're too close in the fray. Like, and sometimes they're smart kids who just are in those other groups. Smart athletes, smart smart artists, and just academically smart kids. Sometimes they're in same classes together, but I think to a degree, in those scenarios, they don't got time to be bullying and messing with people like that all the time. They got assignments to do. So this is part of what I think about these situations. It happens over and over and over again where, these kids are not really having real outlets. And also this need to want to be famous and have attention in popularity and letting social media influence you is another thing, because, I don't understand how you can get bullied on social media. I still don't. Like, cut it off, ignore it, delete the message, don't read it, whatever. But to be addicted to that, the same way we're addicted to likes, people are addicted to being disliked. And it bothers them. You get what I'm saying? And I think that becomes a problem too, because nobody told you how to shut it off. Now, the other thing about, like I was talking about the security earlier, is, has it occurred to anybody that, you might have to treat these schools the way you assume that you needed to treat the inner city for the safety of the students? But this goes into the thing I was saying earlier. You don't think predominantly white, Asian, and Hispanic areas need to be policed. Thus, this is why this keeps happening, because they need to be policed, because the fact that you keep letting this stuff go over and over and over again and let these situations build up over and over and over again, and then there's no security over and over and over again, says says a lot. It says this is, this, no matter how you keep changing it, they're figuring out ways to come back into these schools, because a school shooting was stopped not recently too. So it's just ridiculous. But that's just my thoughts on it. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.